Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Leo learned some succulent tattle about Stephanie. Wendy meandered into the kitchen to wish Trip a decent morning, yet Ava jabbed her head out from behind the fridge entryway. I apologize. Wendy stated, I thought I heard Trip return home. I apologize for disheartening, Ava said. Ava demanded to speak. After Ava fixed espresso, she sat on the love seat with Wendy. Ladies will generally exploit Trip, Ava said. Ava inquired about Wendy's genuine interest in Trip and whether or not she planned to leave if a better opportunity presented itself. I do resent you for implying that I am a flimsy, insubstantial individual. In this way, I'm hesitant to try and exalt that with a reaction, Wendy said. Ava made sense of that her anxiety was that Wendy was involving Trip as a familiar object to move beyond a difficult situation. That isn't this is. Wendy growled, and with all due respect, you are truly crossing the line. I might be. In any case, you'll comprehend one day when you're a mother. I'm only paying special attention to my child's well-being, Ava countered. At the point when Wendy noticed that she was offended, Ava contended that she expected to guarantee that her child was treated with deference. You are totally misguided. Thus, let me attempt to make this unmistakable for you. I love Trip. Trip is in love with me and wants to be with me. Furthermore, Wendy stated, I'm not going to suffer the third degree from you or anyone else regarding our relationship. Ava's telephone rang with a call from Harris, and she disregarded it. With a gesture at the telephone, Wendy inquired as to whether she was infatuated with Harris or Stefan. It turns out I seriously hate being examined, by the same token. Therefore, I will not respond in a dignified manner to that, Ava stated. Wendy grinned. We great? Ava inquired. Sure. I must go think now, Wendy said. Wendy maintained eye contact with Ava briefly, then, at that point, she got back to her room. Conversing with me can do that to an individual, Ava murmured. In the Demera front room, Stefan gazed at a wedding photograph of Gabby. 1 year prior today, you caused me to recall my adoration for you. And my memory was strong. We regained lost time. My God. How did we get to this point? Stefan murmured. Johnny came into the room and asked Stefan where to find EJ angry. Stefan pointed out sarcastically that he had his brother's phone's minute-by-minute schedule. Johnny stated, someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Excessively merry, Johnny commented that it was a wonderful day. I also have significant information. Chanel and I are getting hitched on Valentine's Day, Johnny added. With a grin, Stefan expressed, really great for you, Johnny. Johnny inquired as to whether Stefan planned to compliment him. Johnny was reminded by Stefan that Gabby was in prison and that he had married her 6 months prior. I know. What's more, that sucks, yet don't you have a thing with Ava Vitali? Johnny inquired. Stefan yelled, that is none of your damn business, in a defensive manner. Johnny apologized. Stefan contended that Johnny reserved no privilege to get some information about Stefan's own life. My wife is my love, Stefan emphasized. Johnny shook his head. Johnny countered, you planted a kiss on Ava right here in this living room in front of Chad. Stefan paused for a minute to gather his considerations. Things in this life aren't high contrast all the time. You'll comprehend somewhat better when you grow up a tad, Stefan said. Johnny asked Stefan with a rueful chuckle how old he would have to be to understand how to justify cheating on his wife. Stefan was incensed. You reserve no option to pass judgment on me, Stefan said. Johnny focused on that he was not passing judgment on Stefan. You're frantically infatuated with your significant other, however, no doubt about it, Johnny said. Stefan exhaled. I've had a lot of bad relationships in my life, but I promised Gabby I would be faithful to her. In addition, I think about her every minute of every day, and the fact that I don't know when or how she's going to leave Statesville makes me sick, Stefan stated. Johnny asked Stefan, perplexed, why he had cheated. Ava is a wonderful and entrancing lady, and I'm separated from everyone else, Stefan said. With a shrug, Johnny noticed that Stefan didn't have to account for himself to Johnny, yet he trusted that Stefan could live with the outcomes of the undertaking. Stefan concurred. At Wendy and Tripp's condo, Harris called Ava once more, and she dismissed the call. Ava picked up her phone once more and yelled, "Harris, give it a rest, will ya?" when it rang again. The line was Stefan's. "It's not Harris, Ava." "It's me," Stefan protested. Stefan requested to be aware in the event that Ava was all the while conversing with Harris after what had occurred at the station. "It is dangerous. That superstar is hellbent on blowing Clyde's activity out of this world," Stefan said. Stefan was warned by Ava not to discuss their business in public. "Why had Harris been calling Ava?" Stefan inquired. "I don't have any friggin' thought," Ava shouted. "Therefore, why did you even respond?" Stefan inquired. Ava conceded she didn't have any idea, and she vowed to avoid it once more. Stefan asked Ava if she was with Harris because he was worried. "I only have one day off, and you already miss me?" Ava laughed. "Come on," Stefan countered. Ava made sense of that she had gone through the early daytime grilling Wendy, and she had affirmed that Wendy and Tripp were truly glad. "At least someone is, isn't it?" Ava said. "All things considered, we're blissful and in affection as well, right?" Stefan said. "They were happy and in lust," Ava commented with a scowl. Ava stated that she was relieved to not have to pretend to like Stefan on the day off. "Is playing hot for me such a task for you?" Stefan inquired. "It really is. You know you're not quite so appealing as you suspect you are, correct?" "When it's all said and done, you're somewhat dreadful," Ava countered. He had never met anyone with less sex appeal than Ava, Stefan mumbled incoherently. "I couldn't in fact take a gander at you here and there." Stefan screamed. Stefan lamented that he'd rather have an affair with a toilet than with Ava. "Because you smell like a toilet seat, I can relate," Ava responded. Ava noted that she intended to take a bath because she was so vile. Stefan adjusted the collar of his shirt as Ava talked about how she rubbed hot oil all over herself while naked in her room. "Do you still exist?" Ava inquired. "Still here," Stefan said. Ava advised Stefan to rest soundly. He clenched his fists in pain as Stefan finished his call. Sarah met Paulina in an exam room at the hospital. Paulina explained that she had trouble breathing after waking up. An ultrasound was recommended by Sarah. "Could you like me to call Chanel?" Sarah inquired. "Definitely not." Paulina broke down. After speaking with radiology, Sarah was able to schedule an ultrasound because another patient had cancelled. "How are you feeling now?" Sarah inquired. Paulina said that she felt more settled thanks to Sarah's understanding. As Paulina eliminated her gems in anticipation of the test, Sarah noted, "I know whether it were my mother that was being confessed to the emergency clinic, I would need to be here to help her." Sarah inquired as to whether she was certain that she didn't believe Sarah should call Chanel. In the square, Chanel was setting up before the bread shop when she expressed hi to Kayla. Kayla inquired as to whether she could possibly get her internet-based request early. Chanel said that the muffins needed to cool down because they were almost done. According to Chanel, "But if you want to wait, then it gives you just enough time to admire my engagement ring." Kayla complimented Chanel. Kayla stated that Johnny DiMera is a lucky man. Johnny and Chanel explained that they intended to wed on Valentine's Day. "Steve and I did that," Kayla stated. With a smile, Chanel noticed that it had functioned admirably for Kayla and Steve. Kayla said, "We're still pretty crazy about each other." Kayla made the observation that Paulina must have been overjoyed by the news. "She is. Furthermore, it's giving her another thing to be centered around other than her disease," Chanel said.